The 4th of February 2024. This is just farming. I did a video on treating cattle for lice, and there was terrible noise with the door banging with the wind, and there was a torrential rain. Okay, the point of the video was how I apply the solution. It's usually Etrospec. There's one solution, only 2 mil at the back of the head. I don't go there. I don't use it. 2 mil is very small. There's all kinds of possibilities of losing it and having it lost, and the animal moving and all that sort of stuff. I don't use it. I use the 10 mil dose, and I recommend you go by the official amount. With the Etrospec, it's the same amount, 10 mil for all animals. Now, I have to tell you, I don't do that. I use a little less on very small animals. Usually very small calves won't have lice anyway. But as I get bigger and they get up to cows, I might put in maybe 3 mil extra, go for 13 mil. I can't say that. That's not what it says on the book, so I can't be accountable for that. But I have to say I do it. I give a little extra for big animals. Now, the 10 mil dose is very small, so if you're pouring that on with a bottle, it's very easy to lose it, and it goes down on the hair, and you don't want it running down the back of the animal. And to be honest with you, I have reservations as to whether it gets, the stuff that falls on the hair actually gets to the animal's bloodstream. I quit using that because it doesn't look right to me. Now, what I do is, there is a clipper. It's €350. You can clip the cattle down the center of the back. That will reduce the insulation effect of the hair. Hair contains lanolin, so if you have them in the shed or even they're out, that strip on the back is cooler. You don't want them being unnecessarily cold. So I don't use the clipper, but I would say it'd be a great thing just to take a piece, a couple of little ridges down the back, 5 ridges, we'd say. I'd say it'd be very good for that, but it's too expensive. I don't use it now anyway. I get an ordinary scissors. I clip 5 spots down the back on up, as the instruction says, down on the crown. Clip 5 spots. Now, the next thing then is I have my blackboard ready, and I show that in the video. You need to record what you're doing as you're doing it. Don't do them all and then try to record them, because what will happen is the phone will ring. You have 2 done in the shoot, and you talk on the phone, you come back, you can't remember, did you do 3 or did you do 2? And you have this thing. So write them down as you do it. Get a bit of chalk. A blackboard is essential in a shed. I wouldn't be without it. I'm putting up a second one, and you'll buy them in deals, and a lot of these discount stores have them for kids, and there's proper black paint on them. Stick them up on the wall, and you can have your bit of chalk there and write in what you need, and another rag will clean it off, and that's it. And when you're done with it, wash off the chalk off it, because if you wash it off and you're going to use it, it'll take a couple of hours for it to dry. Okay, enough said about that. What I do then is I use the larger volume dose, the 10 mil solution, and I get a syringe, and I grind the top of the syringe with an angle grinder, or any grinder, a bench grinder do, and I get a drill bit, 1.5 drill bit. You'll buy them in most of the farm stores or engineering stores and that, and I drill up, make sure that when you grind the top of the needle, that it's not blunted and that it's not closed off the hole. Do you understand me? Sometimes when you grind it, there'll be burrs on it. So clean out the hole with whatever you have. I suppose another syringe needle might do it, I don't know, or on top of any pointed object, but the drill bit is ideal, and you can catch it in a vice grip and just turn it, and that's it. Have the hole nice and free. Then you get your solution. You don't have to rely on the bottle's measurement. You squeeze out what you want, put down your syringe down like that, and bring up the amount. The syringes are calibrated. This one here has 10 mil there, so that's 10 mil at my finger. So bring up that amount. Now you're sitting there. If you want to put a wee bit extra, that's up to you. I can't recommend that or be accountable for it. Okay, you then go down to your animal, and you have them already clipped with the scissors or whatever. If you don't want to clip them, you can still do this method. Now, one of the things about clipping them, if you can clip the tail while you're at it, it calms cattle. The clipping of the tail, you hold it and you clip it with a pair of gloves and get all the mouth clinkers off it. They like that, and it tends to calm them down. The other thing, if you have an old bit of a prong of an old fork or something, and give them a wee rub of it along the back. Sometimes they like that, but the first thing you hit them with should not necessarily be the syringe, because they'll bolt on that virtually the first time. So anyway, whatever way you do it, you get your syringe and you put it up at the spot and you just pull it back a little and push out the little bit of solution. You move to 2, spot 2, 3, and then 4, and then you get up to the bit between the shoulders and you put it in. If you haven't it clipped, you can put in the needle anyway because it won't stick. Just put it up and push out your solution. Now at the back of the neck, at the back of the neck, especially if they're housed, the hair will be loose where they're pushing up against the barrier. The hair will be gone. Sometimes they'll be bald, like on the top. You know, there's wrinkles like this. You know that's the way that the animal's back of the neck is. So you have these wrinkles. Now, if you just spill the stuff down there, it'll probably work all right. But what I do is I put the syringe in between a wrinkle there and one down here, and I push it out like that. And that means that the solution is right into the well of the wrinkle. It's right down. There's no barrier. There's nothing in between, and you get that done. Now you have the problem with the well at the back of the head, just at the back of the head, and most cattle will not let you touch them there. They're very, very sensitive about that. So what I do, I get something and I gently give them a wee scratch there a bit, and sometimes they'll stay quiet. And sometimes they'll play holy hell. They'll jump and put their heads down and everything. If they're like that, you could have to spend a bit of time to get them moving, and don't hit them around, but just shuk and give them an old scratch, and then if you get them a wee bit when they're off guard, you have the last bit. You might only have this amount. You see, you might only have this amount. If you are about to squirt it in and she moves and you push, you could lose your stuff. Now another way is to hold it up and let it drip down on them. You'll find they won't stop for that. So it's a thing about the back of the head, but you have a much better chance of applying it with this blunt thing here than you have with a bottle and that. Now you can put a bit of tape around here and a bit of a string and tie it onto your wrist so that if it falls, it's not lost down on the ground. I do use a 1 inch wide by 5mm piece of steel, and I just bend the end of it down about 3'6" long, and I bend it down like that, and I can pull out the syringe if it gets lost, if it falls down, because putting in your hand is not safe. So that's one way. It's not hygienically strict. You're not injecting them, so you're only squirting the stuff on them, so you don't have to be as particular from a cleanliness point of view. So that's how I do it. In my opinion, if you take the wrinkles at the back of the neck and you pick 2 of them and you do this and you treat the 2, that is a great way to apply the solution. Okay, the back of the head can be a bit of a problem. Make sure you write it down as you're doing it, because the phones will ring no matter what, or somebody will call in and you can get confused. That's the biggest actual problem. Suppose if you had a wee spray that you could spray a colour thing on them, that'd be all right. But sure, that's the perfect word. We don't think of these things until it's too late. Anyway, the best of luck. That's how I do. And you'll notice if you use it, within a day and a half, the whole scratching stops. Everything stops. It does kill the lice. Some of the treatments say that if there's more of them, you have to come back again within a certain period. And I would definitely do it if there are, but I've never known it. Generally, you see the cattle change and there's no more scratching or anything else. And of course, if you had some way of having a scratcher in the shed, it'd be great. That's the perfect word as well. So folks, that's it. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm just giving you that. I'm very interested in animal welfare things that help make the animals a lot better and the farmers a lot better, rather than going the awkward way around it. Okay? Comment underneath if you feel there's a better way or that I'm wrong. Don't be afraid to tell me. I don't mind. Good luck, and we'll see you back for something else. Bye.